who is also a fearless leader over us here in counseling and does a ton for us here at the school. She's wonderful. She's our 12th grade discipline at that grade level, and then she does finance, scheduler, curriculum, and has a bunch of other hats she wears. And counselors. I am, as I said, Ms. Talbot, I have students with the letters A through DI, so we do it by alphabet, not by grade level. And Mrs. Shannon Begum has DO through K. Miss Kristen Matson is here tonight. She has L through RE. And Mr. Mike Oliver has RI through Z. We are going to put this slide back up at the end in case you need our email addresses. So what do we do as counselors here at Elko High School? We do a number of things. The first thing we do is we provide social and emotional support to your child. So if your child's having a rough day, maybe grandparents passed away, or they're just arguing with another kid, or something bad's going on, they can come see us and we will help them work through that. If they need additional support, such as therapy or some resources in the community, we can help with that as well. We also provide support in the area of academics. So if they're struggling in a class, having trouble communicating with the teacher, they can come talk to us about that, and we can brainstorm to come up with some solutions to help them do better in school and feel more connected as well. Also, we plan for post-secondary education, including career education. So we're helping them plan for what they're going to be doing when they get out of here. Some other important staff here at Elko High School. We have an officer, Officer Hildreth, who's awesome. He's really good at working with the kids and has a good lending ear for them. Ms. Vargas is our Hope Squad advisor. Some of you will have a child who's participating in Hope Squad, which is awesome. That's to help with suicide prevention. And then we also have Mr. Larry Robb. He's our social worker, and he's fantastic. He's been here for a long time, and he works with us closely in counseling. His duties include helping students with mental wellness. He has some students on his caseload, so he has a smaller caseload than us as counselors, so he can give them more individual attention. And he also can help connect you and your child to some local community resources as needed. Elko High School departments for support. We are all located in the main building in the junior building. Attendance is there. They do doctor's notes, tardy slips, admit slips, all things attendance. Finance does student IDs, lunch money and hot lunch. They do purchase orders, forms for sports and clubs, and fees. So that's Tracy Johnston, who's in charge of that, most of that department. And for guidance, back in our department, we of course do the scheduling that we have been working on diligently, all the counselors, the last week and a half, and we appreciate your patience. We're each dealing with about 50 to 400 students each with 7 classes, trying to make sure everything's okay to get you guys rolling with your child for school on Monday. We will be working through those schedules tomorrow and also into next week. So please don't panic. We will get things straightened out if needed at this point. And also, we have transcripts and records done through our register in our department. Scholarships, we have a college and career center, and Carla Cruz is in charge of that. She's awesome. She's there to help your child with getting some money for college. And then we have our health office built in with the counseling office with our nurse. And so if you need anything from her, she's there to help your child with those medical needs. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Madsen. She's going to talk a little bit about graduation requirements and the new bell schedule.
Okay, thank you, Cassie. Okay, so graduation requirements, if you look, the minimum amount of credits that you can have to graduate is 23. And out of those 23, some are very specific towards core subjects. The difference between an advanced diploma and a regular diploma is the GPA. So for an advanced diploma, it's a 3.25 GPA and 4 years of math, with one of them being Algebra 2. Okay, so we will hammer this over and over and over again. Kids revisit this quite often. Whenever we do registration, we give them their transcripts, they review their credits to make sure that they're on track. So every year, we delineate certain classes to cover those cores, and then yes, electives are a necessity as well, but they get to be more selective with those electives. All right, this is the bell schedule. The first day, we start off with an assembly. So too bad we don't start every day like that, but we start off with an assembly first day, so you guys are more than welcome to take a photo of this. But if you look, school starts at 7:40 in the morning, and we end at 3:55. Okay, it's important to note that lunch is off campus. Students do not have to stay on campus, they can leave. We want them to return. Most of the time they do. But it is open campus. Your child does have the option to eat lunch on campus here as well. But they are allowed to leave campus during that time. All right, I'm going to pass the mic over to Mrs. Williams, but you're not done with me yet. She's going to talk about administration stuff, attendance, dress code, so on and so forth.
Okay, so she didn't realize it, but that segue was actually really good about we want your kids to return after lunch. So attendance, if we're on that screen up above, unexcused absences, you parents have 72 hours to excuse your child's absence. That is not an Elko County School District rule. That is actually a state NRS. So as long as your students are, like, you can call for whatever reason within that 72 hours. If you miss the window, your kid has a truancy. So just kind of know that in the back of your head when they get called down a week later, because we always work the reports the week behind, and that may be a reason why they're being called down, and you'll get a notification in the mail. If they have an excused absence, which has anything to do with doctor, medical, anything to do, dentist, eye doctor, that kind of excused, if you bring back a doctor's note, those will be medically excused, and they do not count against the students' state absences. Even if parents have excused absences, they affect the state law requirements. So you're allowed 10 absences per year to excuse per the state of Nevada. Again, that is not an Elko County School District policy. That is the state NRS. And so anything past the 10, we will still excuse it at the county level, but that does not mean the state is not keeping track. And when your kid goes to get a driver's license and they're over the 10%, we are not allowed to sign that driver's license form for them to get their permit or to get their license because they're over that 10%. That is also one of the state forms, and we don't sign it. And that actually came from our superintendent to say, listen, follow the state policy. So we want to make sure we're doing that and that you're aware of that. Reminder that your driver's license can be revoked or suspended. We actually started doing this last year, and it got, I want to say that it really helped a whole lot when kids got their driver's license suspended the first time. And I think they thought we were joking, but attendance just became, that's why I handed you out that chronic absenteeism. That attendance just got out of control, and we've got to rein it back in. And for somebody, I did 11th and 12th grade last year, and you wouldn't believe the 12th graders that once they found out they were 18, they didn't have to adhere to that. So then I had to actually utilize some other policies that I was able to put in place. But the next step, if we don't get that in control, is they may lose credit, and that's per the NRS also. So we really want everybody to try to help support us and get those kids in the seat. And if there's a problem, please let us know. Just email us or call us. Emailing usually works the best, but that's what my suggestion is. It's important for them to be here. Okay, cell phone, Casey? We have a tardy policy also, but we didn't put it on here, so I'm not going to address it because it's pretty simple. Look here. Okay. Is it switched? Does it say cell phone up there? Casey, are you switching me? Oh, I guess I switch it.
Here, there you go.
Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I see you up there. You're the best. Anyway, cell phone Bluetooth policy. This is actually district, this came out with the board docs just really recent. And so we had to take what they did at the board and then we had to like say, okay, how do we devise our own policy? So I will tell you that we have a strong recommendation is that your students turn their cell phones into the pouch, which is on a spot that's by the teacher. And if they don't want to do that, then they need to make sure that they have their cell phone shut off and tucked away in their backpack, and that backpack will be moved away from their desk or their seats so that they are not tempted to reach down and grab it and put it on them. For those students that like to use the burner phones, you won't like what's going to end up happening, right? Because what ends up happening at that point, there are actually then 2 infractions. One, cell phone policy violation number 1, plus an insubordination because you didn't follow policy. We're trying to get those kids to listen. We know that there is a deficit when it comes to how much time kids are spending on phones and electronics, and so we know teachers are struggling when the kids aren't paying attention. They're more concerned with texting or trying to listen to music or so on and so forth. So if you look on there, they talk about first offense, second offense, third offense, so on and so forth. If phones are discovered due to dishonesty, they'll be considered admin insubordination, which is what I was talking about. So that actually could result in ISS or OSS. And their phones will be confiscated the first offense. So if I'm walking down the hall and I normally in the past would say, put your cell phone away, why do you have it on you? It's supposed to be in your room, so on and so forth. Now I won't ask. I'll just say, please give me your cell phone, tell me your name. I will turn into the office and the parents will be called. So there won't be a warning. So I'm just letting you know, so please talk to your kids and tell them to please keep their cell phones off of them during class time. All right, dress code, super easy on this one. It's the same one that I've been doing, so, let's see, where's it at? Okay, maybe not. Thought that I could move it, but I'm apparently not knowing what I'm doing on this one. So your dress code policy, is dress code up there? Yes, okay. Schools like places of employment have a dress code. So I always tell the students if they get dress coded, I don't have to give a reason for dress coding because I have pictures all over the school and in all the classes, and if they violate the dress code, they're just gonna be violated. So I don't go into deep explanation. I just say, look at the picture, and if it's a violation, the first time it's just a warning. Second time we start doing disciplinary measures like school lunch detention. I call parents, usually the second one, but the first one, they normally get a notification in the mail anyways, so you know what's going on. There's something that's not quite right. If you have any questions, please make sure that you ask or refer to your student handbook, and that should have the disciplinary steps in there. Kristen. Yep.
I'm back. Okay, all right. So to get back on track, there are a couple of different apps you can download, 2 of which are very helpful. One is Infinite Campus. If you don't have that application, I would encourage you to download it. It requires a parent key, so any of the secretaries can help you out and give you that parent activation key. This is how you can keep track of your child's grades. You can contact their teachers. You can make sure that they're coming to class. The next one is the Elko County School District app. So this was launched, I think, last year. It's great because it does school-wide announcements. So like today, for instance, I got notifications about open houses at my own child's school. So it lets you know about emergency situations, resources, or things that are coming up within different schools and within the district itself. So both are great resources. You probably noticed that within the schedule, there's advisories every Thursday. So advisory can be for homework, but they are also doing a curriculum that they've adopted for 9th and 10th grade advisories. This focuses on social emotional learning, social media, all relevant current issues that pertain to teen and teen mental health. And then 11th and 12th have their own curriculum. I know some of that is geared towards ACT preparation. All right, next up, getting involved. So there are a lot of different clubs, a lot of different athletics, athletic teams that your child can join. About 25 different clubs, I think 26 actually. I do, because another one, I had to make copies for a group recently. So there's a ton of different ways that your child can remain involved. And we know that if they're involved, they're less likely to get into trouble. And they also meet pretty cool people along the way. So we encourage your child to, as they're walking around campus, clubs and things like that, maybe have them talk to some of those clubs to see if that's something that they'd be interested in. Also, EHS has longstanding traditions and activities. The student section is pretty active and involved. They have dress-up themes that they establish at home games, and school song. There's a lot of different standing traditions here, so hopefully they come and support their fellow classmates. And then resources for parents. If your child is struggling within different, am I in trouble? Oh, okay. Within different subjects, we have tutoring, English, math, and science. Normally, this is at lunch and after school. Oh, and paper is not. Oh, we don't have paper. Okay. So we do have tutoring on campus. And then paper online was offered last year. They're not doing it this year. We just got the news. And then we are doing parentsguidance.org. This can be found on Elko County School District's app. This is just in case you guys need parenting tips, or if you see your child struggling with different things, it may give you some insight on how to help, okay? So it's a good coping mechanism. One thing we forgot to mention when we talked about important people that are helpful, CIS. We have communities in schools. So that's a great resource if your kid is needing counseling, because they can get connected with UNLV telehealth. There's also food supplies, hygiene, all kinds of things. They can help with school supplies too. So communities and schools is also on our campus. And then I'm gonna leave this up. This is just all of the counselors broken down by the last name, okay, and our email. We are aware that schedules are still maybe a little messed up, or maybe some of the electives are not there. Advisory's been the biggest one. We are working diligently to get those inputted, so please be patient. And we appreciate your patience that you guys have afforded us already, but we are still actively working on getting everything situated, and we still have about a week or two to work out some of those kinks. Because kids will be here on campus, it'll be a lot easier for things to get fixed, but we've all been working towards getting those things corrected. But you're welcome to take a picture of this and email us if you have questions, or if you need schedule things addressed. And thank you guys so much for coming. You guys are all free to find your children and go roam about the campus. Thank you all.